Hey, welcome to a glimpse into my moment. I've had kind of a really, oh God, low week. And honestly, if I'm really, really honest, it's my doing, it's my interpretation of things unsaid or even things said, because I always think with my bruised, broken, fractured brain first. I think with my lack of self-worth and my lack of self-esteem first. Those things are what I know. I only know, as evidenced through 50 years. Okay, I'm 51, so we'll give ourselves 1 year of awesomeness somewhere in there. But as evidenced through 50 years, nothing's ever safe. And when I throw all my buckets and all my eggs, let's say that sounds better, all my eggs in the bucket where I'm safe, it never stays. It never stays in the way that I guess I see it, the way that I realize it, the way that I feel it. And a lot of that has to do with just the fact of me being so incredibly used to people not doing what they say they're going to do, not being who they say they're going to be. And that has nothing to do with anybody but me, because I have to relearn how to trust people. I have to relearn how to give people a little bit. I have to learn to allow them to be themselves and to be where they are, and to not take so literally everything that they say, because I like words, and words are meant to be taken at face value, at literal meaning. Why else would they have been created with definition? Right? So, what I've learned this week is that my hurt is still pretty raw and still pretty real. And sometimes other people can get the, I suppose, after effects of that hurt that I'm still trying to understand myself and process. And it's not their fault. It's just a part of being around me on my journey. I struggle still with self-worth, self-acceptance, self-love. And so anybody willing and brave enough to come into my circle is sometimes going to get hit with my doubts, my need for things to be really clear and really literal. Because that box around a word, that box around literal meanings, literal interpretation has always been my safety net. It's been what's protected me and what has allowed me to get through in really unsafe spaces. I don't know how else to explain it. I just know that this week has been a struggle. Every part of me has felt like I'm losing something that's so incredibly valuable that I've never had before in my entire life. Just because I lost hope in one little area that really it's okay. It's okay to lose hope in that one little area, but it shook everything else for me, because my pattern of learned behavior, those pathways in my brain are only that one small loss is going to lead to another and another and another and another. And if I can't take words at their literal meaning when they're given to me, I have no way to explain the chaos that I feel. So this week has challenged me. And here we are on Friday with a great big huge Noah's trip ahead of me. A little annual celebration that we do for my son in heaven. And anyway, I'm kind of feeling it. I'm feeling the chaos of healing and how my need for literal interpretation, my need to understand, my need to maybe even control the understanding, right? That I need it so bad, or I needed, I'm letting go of it, but I needed it so bad because that's where I'm safe, is within knowing. Because if there's a little gray area where I don't know, then I feel in jeopardy. And that's just part of my learning about myself, coming out of so many years of being in the shadows of narcissists. Stay with me. I'll be back after the break. Welcome back. Having a pattern of behavior expectations in your brain. Well, first of all, it's a terrible thing. Second, just because they're in your brain doesn't make them real. But the hurt and the fear, the shame surrounding them is real. It's real, and you have to figure it out and deal with that. And the only way that I know how to deal with things are through conversations. And, oh gosh, being a mom of 5, well, 4 here, but 5, and working and having my cousin to take care of. It's just, there's not much space sometimes to delve into big conversations about those hurts. And especially when it's with the people, the person who you need to have that conversation with. Anyway, I realized today that I have some really large scars around my life. I don't know if they would be emotional scars or they're not physical. I don't know if you would lump them under mental scars, or I don't know. Maybe somebody can message me and tell me, but regardless, I have some really large scars, and then my emotional self swoops in as soon as one of those is threatened and wraps around it and puts a safety net of protection around me. And it's and then that kind of manifests as fear. And that fear, the fear of loss, the fear of change. Right now, I am really struggling with feeling like I am losing a really important, like the most important and the most valuable space that I've ever had in my life. And I don't think I am when I really slow down and I look at it non-emotionally. But those patterns of learned behavior are triggering in my head. And because because this, for a moment, felt like stuff was being withheld from me, information was being withheld from me, so I just was in chaos and I just couldn't understand. But when I talked, actually was able to create the space and create the time to talk to the other person, they weren't intentionally, and they are not intentionally withholding anything from me. It just is really more about me reacting and perceiving from the hurts and breaks that I have, that are real. It is hard to understand and to accept that so much of what you do in your life is really only on you. I'm struggling a little bit with this because everything that I've ever known and done in my life has been probably based off of other people. And so then I question, what are relationships even like? Friendships like? What is all of that like? I've never known a healthy one. And the one space where I thought I was incredibly safe got a little bit rocked this week. But just because I was hearing something different than was being said. I was hearing with my fractures and my breaks, my past, my emotional hurt pathways to all I've ever known. That's really not fair, but I guess for people who are around somebody who's leaving or left a domestic abuse life or a life out of narcissist abuse, living in the shadows. Maybe this is just something to expect might pop up. That at some point they will question everything about why you even want to be around them, because their self-worth, their own personal value struggles, even when it heals. It slides backwards super easy, super fast. I hope you'll stick around. See you on the other side of the break. I feel like I'm rambling. But I don't know how else to process things but to journal about them or share them here. I guess, which is my vocal journal. This week my heart totally shattered because I thought that this safe space that I have with my best friend, I thought that it was gonna go away because every other space in my life goes away, changes, shatters, shifts. And life is all about change. So, this is no different. Only it is, because they haven't gone away. Sometimes people just don't communicate at the same time frame. The same, not even time frame. Just because one person is communicating doesn't mean the other person is hearing them. And I certainly wasn't hearing. That's on me. Anyway. I just hope that for anybody who's listening, that they will remember how resilient, courageous, strong, beautiful, and delicate people leaving abusive situations are, because they don't have the same breaks that you might have, the same fractures, and they will react different, probably than you expect. You might not even understand it or be able to deal with it. In the moment when they're feeling it. But please know that for all of us survivors out there, it passes. And if we are healing and we are getting help from a therapist or support group or research and reading and application, or all of those things, as yours truly does, then just give them some grace and some time to catch up, because they were in an abusive relationship for a reason. It wasn't by their choice. They didn't sign up and go, hey, victim here, please marry me. They got there because there were some pretty big things that happened in their life to destroy their sense of worth and create those pathways that that's all that they were worth. But they had no right to a voice. They had no right to themselves. And so when they falter along that path in recovery, well, I suppose you could just maybe give them a little grace and remember it's largely about their ability to see and accept something will stay, that something won't be taken away, used as a punishment, used as a stick to hurt them. I am this week struggling because I've always had that safe space ripped away from me. And I'm only, even more so this week, beginning to understand my own role in my own life. And that's hard. So, as we accept our roles in our lives and move from there, I hope that you trust in those safe spaces that people give you. Trust that what they tell you is 100% correct, and what you hear with your ears or see in your hurt brain, your bruised brain, is your reality, not theirs. And may they have grace. And even if there's mistakes on both sides, doesn't really matter. In a healthy space, in a healthy relationship of any kind, doesn't matter what kind, in anything healthy, There's space and value given to listening, truly listening without the intent to talk, and waiting for that other person. Giving them the space to be heard, and then really hearing what they say in response, and vice versa. A lot of value to that. And being vulnerable. I never would have been vulnerable in my old life. Because that would create horrible punishments. That word is really bad. So I guess this week has just been a huge struggle in feeling safe. And it has more to do with my past than my future. And I'm kind of struggling with that, even right now. I hope that you have a wonderful, amazing day, free of fractures and breaks stalling you out.